to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucious, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Hello, lovely people. Thank you for joining us once again for a fun night of Athletics LLC. We are back. We are in charge. We are going to take this bowl and give you some answers and shake it around to see what falls out. So, as always, we are joined by three lovely gentlemen. We've got Clyde. Lucious.
Good evening.
And Lamar is back.
Good evening, folks. I heard my seat was occupied by a loser.
He did spend a lot of time losing, I'll tell you that.
L7 weenie. So let's come out of the gates and just see what we can stir up on this one. So as it goes for unbreakable records, let's start little and go big. At the collegiate level, what are the unbreakable records for the men, and then for the women? We'll go men first, women second, that exist.
Wow. For me, I think there's two records that I think that may be untouchable or unbreakable for a very long time, and so I'm probably going to steal somebody's answer here. I apologize.
If you pick two, you might want to pick one.
And you know what? Well, then I'll just go Homer then, and I'll go 1298 by Grant in the high hurdles. Okay.
And
see, and there it went. And there it went. So I just think that when it took 40 years for somebody to run under 13 flat, and so I just think the magnitude of what Skeets did and the magnitude of what it took to get Grant to be able to do that, I just think that's going to be unbreakable for a very long time. The 1298 for me. So since I stole your answer, then you probably should let Lamar's back go. I stole your answer.
You know what? Now you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take and.
You gotta go second so he doesn't steal it too.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with this one for the sake of being really, really petty. Really, really petty. Because now I have two as well. But I don't think Lamar.
Hey, you only get one and don't cheat me now.
I put my foot in my mouth and I got my answer taken. So I'm gonna go and try to take the one that I think he's gonna go with, which I do believe in. I don't think it's gonna get broke anytime soon. It hasn't been broke in a very long time. I'm gonna go with Hollis Conway in the men's high jump, 39, 2.39 meters. That is the record.
He definitely is cooking in your kitchens. Lamar is back.
Oh, I'm laughing because I knew which answer he was going to try to steal. Luckily, I had two. I'm going to go with the men's javelin by Patrick Bourdain. If for no other reason than I think in most collegiate stadiums, you can't even throw that far anymore. I don't know the metric. I used to. I think it's like 292.8 or something like that. The craziest thing is the collegiate record in the javelin was set in a dual meet between two schools that I don't think have ever had a dual meet before, ever. Indiana and Texas.
Oh, wow.
Like it's one of those records that makes no sense. Like in a dual meet, this dude threw the length of a football field.
So since we blew through those pretty quickly, should we go ahead and give our secondary choices? Because
absolutely, because there's a lot of the great performances that definitely need to be mentioned. I would say,
for sure.
Well, you could go ahead, Lamar, since you were on the end of that one. You could start with your secondary.
I mean, look, I'm gonna I know this probably seems weird because it was just broken, but I don't think that the men's world record, I mean, the collegiate record indoors and the men's 400 is getting broken anytime soon.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to be completely honest, when it was set by Quran, I was pretty sure it wasn't going to get broken anytime soon. And I think we all agree that Michael Norman is one of the more super freak individuals ever. And since I don't think that those people come around very often, I don't think anybody's breaking that anytime soon.
The record stood for 14 years,
Right.
So
I feel like this one's going to stand for at least another 14.
Okay, so on the men's list, at least, I tried to really be outside of my normal boxes of comfort. So my other one that I wanted to throw out there was actually the men's long jump, which used to be held by Carl Lewis at 862. And then in 1994, Eric Walder broke it, 874, 28.8 and a quarter, and did it with a perfect 2.0 wind. I feel like it's going to take a massive effort to eclipse that. And with the way the long jump seems to be going these days, I don't know. I just don't see that one falling anytime soon. And obviously it's been standing for a long time.
I'm going to say as an addendum to that, not only was it a super freak athlete, a 2.0 win, it was also done in El Paso at altitude. So I really don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Right. Okay, so my next one is 4702. No. I mean, again, the 47.5 stood for 14 years. 4702 is going to last a long time. Like that. I just don't see that one being broken anytime soon. I mean, probably not in my lifetime. Probably not in my lifetime.
That was going to be an obvious one for me to go with, so I didn't want to go with that one.
Yeah. I think there's other ones, like I think that, I mean, the 3 flat indoors. And that's
The world record.
World best.
Here we go. Next.
All right, go to the women's side.
So,
Clyde, you can go first.
Honestly, I mean, and this is, I'll probably get accused of recency bias, but Don Swell was on the books a hell of a long time. And again, just almost a perfect setup for Miss Richardson, being that's basically her home track, even though she's from Dallas. Like the crowd was behind her. They weren't behind the Texans. Like, 1.6 on the win, 1075. I mean, she took down an altitude record from 1989. I just don't see a female collegiate coming along and messing with that one for a really, really, really long time. That's the one that jumps out to me.
Well, I'm gonna be a homer again, and the 2202 by my girl Kyra. Took the same thing. The same thing. She took Donswell out of the record book as well. Huh?
Took down the same person. Took down Donswell.
Right. So I'm gonna ride with Kyra on that one. I just think that I don't think people understand, like, 1075 and 2202 are just fast. That they're not going to be easy to break at all.
Well, I mean, both of you clearly took my two answers, so we're gonna adjust on the fly, and I guess I will be accused of being, to some degree, a homer. As fast as women's hurdlers are on a regular basis, I don't think what Brown and Rollins did in college is going to get broken by anybody anytime soon.
I think I'd be hard pressed to disagree.
I mean,
it's like, yeah, that was a phenomenal effort.
Honestly, because there's things in the way, that one might stand even longer than the 1075 or the 2202.
Yeah,
because you could be that good, you still got to clear the barriers.
Yeah. And it's just, she came through college in probably one of the most competitive eras of women's hurdles. It's like a lot of things that came together, you know what I mean? And obviously she's supremely talented. So So now
so
we get to
what about-
the fun part. We going to the pros now.
Well, are
Yeah,
there
I
any
thought we were gonna
honorable
do
mentions?
for the women.
Yeah, I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Jenny Simpson at 359.9 in the 1500.
Yeah.
That was gonna be around for quite some time.
Look, I'm gonna second that one.
That was gonna be around for quite some time. What about you
have
guys?
an honorable mention, Mr. Lamar? I have an easy one.
I don't have an honorable mention right now, just because, again, like I feel like y'all are in my head. You know, my honorable mention just flew out of Lucious's mouth.
All right. Well, mine would be, again, because of the unbelievable talent that this person is, and the unbelievable talent that she took down. Sydney McLaughlin running 52.75, taking down Sheena Johnson's 95. The only two 52s on the board ever. I don't really see another, to borrow our phrase from previous discussions, another unicorn coming along and taking down 52.75 like that. And she made it look real easy, but that was a phenomenal performance.
I got another one for you. What about the 42.05 by LSU in the 4x1? How long before you get a group that special together again?
Yeah, and honestly, I think we all think they could have ran faster.
No, we all know they would have run faster had it not been raining.
They could have went 41.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt they could have run. They were in 42.09 in the preliminary, and they were just chilling. You know, they still ran 42. What did they run? 42.2. It was like 40 degrees and raining.
So the crazy thing about the LSU team, the top 5 performances of all time. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. The top 6 performances of all time, 4 of which are by that team. 42.05, 42.09, 42.12, and 42.14.
Well, the 12 and the 14 they were from the 17 team, and then the other two.
You're right.
Then the other two were from the 18 team.
Also
so I think there's 3 of the girls are the same, but there's one different girl. I believe so. Yeah.
42. So that team also ran 42.25.
Yeah.
So 05, 09, and 25.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh man. The pro, I'll tell you what, the pro side is going to be interesting.
All right.
Well, fire away then.
I was going to say, obviously you want to go, so let's go ahead and jump over. We'll stay in the same order. We'll go pro men record and then women record.
Ooh, well, this one I guess is interesting to me because I think there are actually quite a few that may be untouchable. I'm going to take for me is one of the more low-hanging fruits. I'm going to say the men's world record in the 4x4.
You're saying okay. You lost me because the question is most unbreakable. That's
correct.
The one you think?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I've had this conversation with you before because I think the hardest part of it is A, having a pop-off that runs that fast, but
which we agree on.
But B, to me, the hardest part is leg 3 and leg 4 got to run 43 mid to 43 dead by themselves. I just think that's really hard.
Well,
it's a very
and I don't think any of us are going to disagree with you on that one. But I 1919, 958. I mean, we'll lump those two together.
Sure.
Those are that's not happening. It's just not. No time.
And that's why I said I think there's quite a few on the men's side.
Yeah, like no.
Okay, so wait, but we gotta be more difficult than that. But
yeah, we do.
If we agree, and obviously we do, that Bolt is the hardest man to take the record from, which one is harder? Is the 1919 harder, or is the 19.5 or is the 9.5 harder? I think that's a really interesting, debate that I've definitely had, amongst friends and colleagues on the side. For me, the 9.5 is harder. And my rationale probably extends both ways, but at the end of the day, everybody else that had a world record in the men's 100 did it between 44 and 45 steps. Bolt did it in 41. And I just don't know who else could pull that off or get close to it in order to get that kind of velocity with that kind of stride length. Like, I think in that short of a span, I think the fact that he could cover that much ground puts that 9.5 a lot further away than most people think it should be, because we've seen people run 9.6. You know what I mean? And because we've seen that, a lot of people think, oh, it's close. It's really not. Not for me anyway.
No, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that the problem with the 958 is finding somebody of that size, of that mentality, that's willing to put the work in from a technical aspect that he put in. You know, like, people don't understand that dude wasn't just out there running. Like, he was very serious about his craft. And so I think that that's going to be the biggest problem with the 958 is finding someone that's going to put the time in, coach and athlete, and somebody of that stature. So I would agree that I think 1919 is space age, but 958 is a whole nother world.
Well, I'll say this. I like this spin because we all agree, but I think we all agree for different reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons that 958 is not really thinkable is because while he was running, there was a 9.6 guy and a couple 9.7 guys, right? So part of the issue you have is I don't think we're going to have the other three guys either anytime soon. You know what I mean? Like, if
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, because I think we got some 9.6s and 9.7s coming. I mean, it's just a matter of time before Coleman runs 9.6. You know, it's just a matter of time before Lyles figures out the first part of his race, because he gets a little bit better every year, and he's the best top end guy in the world right now. You know, so I think the 9.7s are there because you got you got Lyles, you got Coleman, and you got Baker. You know, just here in the United States.
You might have Norman if he decides to ever sit down and go that route.
Right.
We shall see.
And just so I don't offend Clyde, I'll throw Bromell in there as well. So.
Oh, I love the subtle jabs tonight. The subtle jabs are.
Honestly, I don't think Trayvon is powerful enough to get into a 9.6. I didn't think he was before his injury. Now maybe he could, come back, stronger and better in that way. I think if everybody's healthy and the race is, in the 9.7, 9.8 range, I've said this before, I think Bromell is getting back right, and I think can compete with those people for sure and beat them. But 9.6, I don't know. I don't know if he's powerful enough to do that.
That's fair.
Any honorable mention? Or I guess we've had some. That was our forefront. We did honorable mentions first. Is there anything that we left out?
I don't think on the records now.
Nah, I think.
Well, yeah. Men's 800.
Unbreakables?
Men's 800, 140.91.
Yeah.
That might be worse than the 958. That might be worse than the 958. Yeah.
And I will for sure tell you that 91 whatever the hell Kevin Meyer scored in the decathlon, your grandkids ain't gonna see that. Nope. No chance.
Right.
Very interested to see how close he comes to that with his coaching change.
Well, that's why I didn't throw that one out there, because the question is, it's his record and he's still going. Couldn't he do it?
I'll take no for 1,000, Alex.
He hasn't. Well, I mean, from what we've all agreed to, that he hasn't put himself in a coaching position to make that happen. He's made the change in the Olympic year and this, that, and the third. So that'll be interesting to see if
the hardest the hardest part about that, I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off. Please continue. I'm so sorry. I'm just
Okay,
running my
you can-
mouth tonight.
You can continue your mansplain. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm done.
Ooh.
Anyhow, so
I think I just got muted.
well, let's go to the women's side.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so wait. Let me say this.
Clyde has been waiting for this.
Let me say this.
So I'm gonna go and make, because mine's is easy.
Wait. Let me say this. I want to throw some sauce. I want to throw some sauce. We got to take FloJo's record off the books. Pick another one.
No, wait a minute. I just need to know at what level are we having this conversation, because, you know, in this particular conversation of women's records, women is a little fuzzy on some of these.
Stop. Nope. We ain't doing
There
that.
are some other issues afoot. Like Lamar just said, taking certain people's records off the books for whatever reasons. So
No,
I mean,
I'm saying none of us, look, it's too low hanging of a fruit for any of us to pick FloJo's 1049. What I'm saying is we're above that. Pick another record.
I'm going with Jackie's heptathlon record.
I now want to fight you. We're good.
You told me to pick a record, and now you're mad that I did.
You're good.
I mean, I'm not exactly happy, because based on the context of the conversation, that's where I was going to go with the record choice as well.
All right. Well, I'll jump in there and give you a chance to think. I'm going to say that your Donka was 2 meters 10 in the high jump is going absolutely nowhere. Ever.
Well, honestly, given the context of things that I threw out there, my unbreakable women's world record is the women's 4x1 from 2012. That thing is going absolutely nowhere anytime soon. It's too good. It had the right people in the perfect positions doing exactly what they do well, and I just don't see it. There have been the 2016 team was talented enough to take that record down, but couldn't figure out the execution. I just don't see it going anywhere, American or otherwise.
Yeah, because they ran 41-0 out of lane 1, right?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
So they definitely
Yes.
Yeah.
And obviously the 1 and the 2 were the same 2. Tiana was better on the pop-off in 2016 than she was in 2012. Allison was basically even. You could argue from a time perspective, we know from the metrics that English ran a faster turn than Bianca did, but they fumbled the pass on the end. And I mean, that team had 3 women in their prime with their PRs running 10-7, 10-7, 10-7, and Allison Felix, and they couldn't get it done. So if that team ain't getting it done, I don't know what team's coming around to get that done.
Okay.
I mean, that's a great one. We're on honorable mentions?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to stir the pot a little bit. Okay, so clearly we all know that the women's 400 record is absolutely under assault, right? How long before the women's short hurdle record is broken?
Okay. So the women's short hurdle record, I honestly believe there are 4 to 5 women out in the world that could do it. Will they do it? I don't think so. And the one that I think would be able to do it is Rollins. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Wait, she got married.
McNeil, right?
Yeah.
McNeil.
Yeah.
Brianna Rollins. Brianna McNeil. I want to be respectful of her married name. Brianna can break it. You know, there's some other people out there that I thought, really, really could, but, the nature of the business, moving around, all these things, I don't see it happening. But if I was going to pick a name of who can take Kenny's record away from her, it would be Brianna.
Yeah. And it's the same thing as we talked about with Kevin Meyer. I mean, Kenny is still around and running well. So maybe she's the one to take it down.
Yeah. I'll just say this. For me, I think there's a great number of women's records that aren't going anywhere. But I will say this, right? They basically have tried to neuter to some degree Caster Semenya, right, with the drugs and situation, and she couldn't break the existing world record in the women's 800.
Well, who owns the women's 800?
That's my point. Is that that's my point? Is that why did you start this narrative, sir?
I didn't. He went there, but my point is the
you
record
started the narrative. No, he can't go there unless. Okay, look, you led him down the path, and then you're mad that he went down the path.
I'm not mad. I just, I thought maybe he'd be highbrow enough to not go there.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely petty.
He had his petty hat on tonight.
When that thought came to your mind, you said, Clyde's going to be petty about this one.
Listen, if we
you just lobbed it up there for Anthony Davis to dunk it. That's what you do.
153 is just, it's stupid.
Forget all that. Here's the issue. Since we're talking about professional unbreakable records, there is a movement out by World Athletics to officially rewrite the record books for an array of different reasons. Honestly, I'm not necessarily against that at all. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the women's 1, 2, 4, and 8 should be the first ones taken off the books. How's that for petty?
Well, so here's what I'm gonna say. You probably have offended a fair number of people with that statement. Legit. And two, I look at it like this, because like baseball is the only place I can compare, right? You have a whole bunch of different eras where things once were legal, then they were not really legal, and now they're completely illegal, right? In both sports. And at the end of the day, like, the records need to stand. We need to accept that they are what they are, because trying to erase them is going to be worse than trying to get them. Like, how do you pick which records you're going to take away when, like, we'll just name two of the records that you mentioned, right? You don't have any legitimate justification for taking the 100 and 200 women's records off. You have.
Okay, I won't go down.
You see what I'm saying?
Listen, I won't go down that rabbit hole, but I will go down this one. Since World Athletics likes to sit around and make things up as they go along out of boredom anyway, and take the hit after the fact, nah, they already in the chairs. They can figure out why, and they should go ahead and do it, and then live with the drama afterwards. They love making arbitrary decisions like that. So just let them, that's what they get paid to do. Go ahead and make the call.
That will be one more stupid decision in the historical line of stupid decisions.
Hey, all I'm saying is lean into it. If you're gonna be dumb every other
week.
Okay,
let's just take the 100 meters on the women's side. Okay, so we're gonna discount the 1049 because I think everybody and their mother and their grandmothers and great grandparents, everybody else.
It was windy.
Was wind dated. Okay, so then we're gonna make the world record now 1061.
No,
which is when.
No, 54
was wind dated.
No, 49 was windy. 54 at the Olympics or where it was not windy.
Hey, sit back and relax, dog. I'm sorry. Gee.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I thought that the 54 was wind dated as well.
I thought that it was as well.
It was. It was. Trust me, it was. But anyway, so the world record then becomes 1061. Trust me. Go look it up. Chew, stick a pin in that one for me.
I'm looking it up right now.
All right. So let's go to 1061. All right. So then there are like 8 women who have run within a 1/10 of a second of that. Only one who is known to have tested positive for drugs.
Right.
So then why are we erasing her records? If we know the 49 was wind dated and the 61 was legal, Because that was running the games itself. That wasn't that the one what she ran in the finals of the games? Or did she run 54 in the finals or 61 in the semi?
See, I thought she ran 54 in the final, and it was legal.
No, it wasn't.
So
I'm gonna get
the non-wind aided marks is 1049 and then 64 by Jet and then 65 by Marion.
yeah. If you take the 49 off the board, Carmelita Jeter becomes the world record holder.
Okay,
No,
so
no, because she ran 61 legal. Flojo ran 61 legal. Tell me she did.
yes.
According to what's on World Athletics, it's not wind legal.
Okay, because she ran on 7/17.
Hold on, I'm pulling it. I'm changing the thing.
And this one, my list is according to no. Because the 1061 must have been in the final of the Olympic trials. Because the 1049 happened in the semis.
Right.
So the 61 happened in the final. Then she ran 62 at the games. That's what 62 came from.
Okay, wait. Now you actually confused me with all that. Hold on.
No, she ran 60. She ran 61 at the trials. Because the trials were in July that year.
Right. In Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, she ran 61 in the final of the trials. And then she ran 62 in the final of the games.
Hold on, I got it. Hold on. It's spinning, but I got it. That is correct. So Chu, I know where you made the error. You gotta toggle the other thing.
Okay.
The 49, it's 61. It's 61 with a 1.2, it's 62 with a 1.0, and then it's Jet 64 with a 1.2. So
right.
If you take
but it goes back to my point that if
61.
I don't think we're gonna want to throw away the women's world record when we all would agree that it was wind aided. If her backup time is 1061, and we've had a lot of people run close to that. Right.
Right. And there's no drug tests. There's none of there's none of that.
Exactly. There's nothing. The only person on here that has admitted to doing anything was MJ.
Oh yeah, you wipe Marion out the books completely, please. Yesterday. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like the 49 is just not a legitimate mark. It's just not. So if World Athletics got together and said, "Hey, that's done. That's ridiculous. The world record is 1061."
But you have no. But see, you're speaking to Lamar's point. Like you have no basis to get rid of the 49. It's all.
You study the meet results. If you just look at the meet results from
you
that.
can study what you want, but the win gauge said 2.0.
Yeah, but the win gauge said I got.
Okay, exactly. But you can't go back and destroy a record because the win gauge messed up.
Right.
It wasn't her fault. She ran the race.
And in this particular example, she would still have the world record.
See, here we go. Let's move off this topic before he gets himself in trouble.
Again.
Oh man. Do we want to leave the topic altogether? Are there any other honorable mentions that we need to make sure we note of, or we're good?
No, I think we're good.
I mean, honestly, if you look at the women's world records, hell, all of them are honorable mentions. The women's world records in general in track and field are ridiculous.
But
just in general.
But not all exactly done by women.
No, they were all done by women.
They were all done by women.
He's playing on his words.
Some of them.
That's a horrible play on words. You're smarter than that. They were all done by women. Okay, so all right, so let's toss this out there. Okay, so would we talk about the women's 400? Let's start there. Okay, who do you see approaching that record at some point in time? Because here's the deal. Okay, over time, there's always been this so-and-so was on drugs. You can't do that. Ben Johnson is on drugs. You can't run that fast. Well, the world record is 0.2 faster than that now. So at some point in time, somebody's got to come along and say, I'm going to get after that record. Is there somebody on the planet right now you think can do that?
And me, the two obvious ones for in very different contexts. I think Shanae has the size, the speed, the talent to make a legitimate run at that record. And for my money, she would have already had what I would consider the legitimate world record if Nasser didn't jump up there and actually beat her in that race. So as for my money, Nasser has the legitimate world record on the women's side right now, and she's very close, to challenge.
Wait a minute, doesn't Nasser have the same problem that your other people have?
No, Nasser apparently has the same problem that Mr. Coleman has. She don't show up for her drug test, but she hasn't failed.
So then you're not getting the point. It's like, you can't just, how are you going to say that Nasser's run is legitimate, but there's clearly a question about drugs, right? But you're going to take away someone's world record because of questions about drugs.
Not questions, proven things. Like the East Germans was on drugs, bro.
Okay.
Like, but it's not a debate. It's a known fact of history. Are we really debating?
Yarmila Kratok-Vilova holds the world record in the 8, right?
Yep.
Okay, she's first of all not East German. She's from the Czech Republic.
Whatever. You understand what I mean. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, listen,
like we know
you can't take away somebody's world record because of speculation.
Right, and you're getting away from my point here. First of all, okay, let's talk about people that can get to these things. Let's make hold on, let me finish. Let's make it a positive conversation. But then my thing to you is like, okay, like if you're going to put this cloud over everybody else, then put over your girl too. Okay, because look, and I don't care, look, hold a second. I don't care who gets mad. Nobody misses drug tests for no reason.
Okay,
just don't do it. I don't want to hear that. I don't.
Listen, I'm fine.
So all I'm asking you to do is put that same freaking cloud over her you put over the other people. That's all I'm asking you to do. Be fair.
Again, I don't know who my girl is. I was making it.
Nasser.
Sir, listen to me.
You asked me who your girl was.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, and you're acting like I'm not.
Appreciate it.
There is
as long as Nasser gets a cloud, we're good.
Nasser has a cloud. She missed X number.
No. Hold on a second. I want you, not forget World Athletics or whoever. I want Clyde to put the same cloud over Nasser.
I'm the one speaking, right? You ain't the one talking. Hold
on a second. Don't be a jerk about it. I know who's talking.
Well, then,
okay?
why aren't you saying that?
Because before you weren't saying that. You were like, Nasser's the true world record holder.
You did say that.
That's what you said.
Okay, let me know when I can answer your question. Just let me know. Can I do it now? Am I gonna be allowed to finish my sentence?
Yes.
Okay, look, I'm gonna let you finish your sentence. Okay, gladly, but you cannot continue to jump from stream to stream, brother. But go ahead.
You're not hearing me.
I know. I'm old. I don't hear well. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening very carefully. I'm gonna take notes too.
I will repeat what I said the first time. For my money, Nasser's mark is the legitimate world record. Now, if we want to move to the next step of this and get into the minutia of cloud of drugs versus proven drug situations, to this point, Marion Jones has never tested positive for drugs. We don't know, because she's never tested positive for drugs. If someone stuck a mic in Marion Jones' face and she wanted to say, yeah, I took PEDs, but I didn't take them at the Olympics in Sydney. I was clean at that moment. She could technically say that and we wouldn't be able to know one way or another, but we know what she did.
If you don't stop nodding your head and agreeing with him, I'm going to come.
Therefore, her whole thing is out for me. I'm sorry. For me, I don't know enough about Nasser at all. She ain't around me. I've never met the girl. What I know is she got the same problem Christian Coleman has, which is she missed too many tests and now she's going to get banned. Now, if you are on the page that says, if you miss tests and get banned, you're dirty, I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that mentality about this sport. I support that mentality about this sport. I'm a hardliner. I'm on the page of the people that say, hey, you have a professional responsibility. If you don't handle your responsibility, you can kick rocks for life. I ain't got no problem with any of that. But that's not the standard. And I'm sorry, I do draw a line of distinction between if you fail a test or miss a test. I'm not ready to say that I believe.
Okay, so may I ask you a question?
I don't believe that.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
Who failed the test?
She did. And he did.
Who is she?
Nasser.
So she failed a test.
Failed. No. She didn't fail a test.
So if these records that you want erased, who failed the test?
Sir, Jesus Christ.
So hold on a second. No.
We are not.
Answer the question.
It is a documented fact that the Eastern Europeans were doing enormous amounts of drugs, and for the record, lots of the Americans too, tossed out in the 1980s. All of that. We can get into all of this stuff that we know is.
We don't need to get into it. I'm just asking you who failed the test.
Okay, but again,
do you have documented proof of said people failing the test?
Documented proof of this.
Okay, hold on a second. Are you not answering? Listen to me.
Yes,
you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question.
Get on Google and pull it up.
Okay, you get on Google. It's not going to say that any of those people tested positive. This is what you do. You're evading the question, so you can be right. So you be right.
I do not draw.
We can move on to something else because I'm done with that.
I do not. I do not.
Because you're not answering the question.
Drug test at the same level as.
So let me correct you on something with Marion. You talked about Marion and what she could say. The reason Marion is where she is because Marion admitted that she did.
I watched the press conference.
Exactly. So then why did you bring up the fact that she could get up there and say she wasn't dirty during that time? That was a horrible example.
People fall for that kind of crap all the time. It is a documented fact that Trevor Graham was running a systematic doping program in North Carolina. That's a fact. It doesn't matter if we have.
Why are we picking on Trevor and Marion? Why are we picking on Trevor and Marion when you were talking about the records, which Marion holds none?
Sir,
Marion has not one record. Excuse me. Look, you won't let me talk?
Yes.
Or you want to keep talking over me? Okay, please let me talk. Okay, we're talking about Marion Jones. No, I'm sorry. You're talking about Marion Jones and Trevor Graham, and they got shit to do with this conversation. We're talking. Hold on. There you go talking again. You gonna let me talk or not? Okay. They have nothing to do with this conversation because Marion holds not one record. Okay. Marion was big enough to stand up before the world and say I messed up. She did it. Whether you want it, whether you say what you want and feel how you want. Okay. It was not easy for that woman to get up there and do that. It wasn't. Okay. The bottom line is this: that's not the conversation here. You talk about eradicating work records. Marion holds none, so you let that go. That was unfair, uncalled for. Marion and Trevor have nothing to do with this at all. At all.
You asked me.
No, I ain't asked you nothing about Marion and Trevor. I did not. Let's move on to something else before I become.
You asked me to explain my point of view and my.
No, I did not. No, I did not. You just chose to explain your point of view.
Please save us.
And absolutely uncalled for, unwarranted example.
May I ask you a question? May I ask you a question?
Not in regards to that, you can't.
No, forget that. May I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you accept that there was systematic doping going on in Eastern Europe in the 1970s and 80s? Do you accept that as a fact?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now you understand my point.
Okay. It's not that. Okay, hold on a second. It's not that I don't understand. It's not that I don't understand your point. Okay, but you see how easily I just said yes?
Yeah.
It could have been just that easy for you to say none when I said who tested positive.
I did. Nobody. First thing I said.
No, you didn't.
Chew, please save us.
Please save him.
Okay, let's move over boxes. Okay.
Stop being so petty.
I'm telling the truth.
No. Okay. Tell the truth about the block is a different deal. That other stuff you brought into it, that was just petty.
It was an example of systematic.
It was no, it was not. It's a horrible thing.
So let's talk about how these people, before they got to be these people then. What is the biggest obstacle for a track and field athlete as they become a professional?
Ironically, that could be a great time.
I'll go first. First of all, I will say I think that the number of obstacles to being a professional track and field athlete are damn near innumerable. But in my opinion, the biggest obstacle is that unlike every other professional, and I use that word loosely with track, but unlike every other professional sport, track and field, for the most part, every year is a contract year. So no matter how good you are in 2020, you need to be that good or better in 2021. No matter how good you were in 2020, 2021, and 2022, you need to be that good or better in 2023. And in almost no professional sport are you required basically to assault the best you've ever been every year. And I think that is a tremendous obstacle in the sport of track and field, because you can have a great year, not be as good, not get as good of results as you did the year before, and get your contract cut.
I'm gonna attack it from a different angle. I think that I'm gonna go two different places. One is time management. As a collegiate athlete, everything's very structured. Everybody's very well laid out, planned out for you, and then all of a sudden you got to do all this on your own. And I think the other thing is I'm just gonna use a small word and go ego. And the fact that all of a sudden they get money makes some of these people think that they're invincible, and you can't convince them that the money, just like they gave it to you, they're going to take it from you if you don't perform. So I think if they do a much better job of managing their time and trying to create a training environment, a social environment that was equal to or greater than what got them the contract, and checking your ego at the door and saying, I've got to be on that same grind I was on before I got to where I am. And I think I want to attribute this quote to John Wooden, but I'm not sure it is. Remember that when you were at your best, and let's be there again. And they forget what it took to get them there. And I think that's what gets them in trouble more than anything else.
I think that is very well said, sir. I agree with both of y'all. For me, when I heard that question, the large word that came to my mind was delusion. And you can attribute delusion in this sport to a lot of different levels. But for me, delusion is a big overarching word that fits all of this. Lucious just spoke to it. There's a lot of delusion with the coaches. There's a lot of delusion about the way the functionality of the sport works at that level. I think people not having a clear understanding of the challenge in front of them and what it takes to maintain it or to thrive in it is a big part of that. And I think ultimately that's a different way to say what Lucious was talking about. From a practical standpoint, the way I answer that question is lack of infrastructure. Because our sport, unlike any other, and I've used this analogy many times when people talk to me about this conversation, the worst players, the worst professional athletes in the NBA, the worst professional athletes in the NFL, the worst professional athletes in MLB, the people you don't know by name, the people you never see on Monday Night Football, they make a very, very comfortable living. And because they do, if they have the brain and the heart to do it, they can take that very comfortable living, spend money, and get themselves better and keep grinding towards their ultimate goal of being a starter or playing on the big stage. In this sport, not only are you the top 1% of the planet, if you are a professional athlete, you have to be the top 1/10 of 1% in this level to even hope to have any kind of way to live because of the lack of infrastructure. So I think the lack of infrastructure is the monster that ultimately feeds and allows people to get swallowed up by their delusion.
And I'm gonna add one more thing to that too. And I think another quote I like to use is dance with the girl you took to the dance, or you end up going home alone, right? And
Part of the
I
delusion.
think too often the athletes, I've heard athletes say this, it ain't all about the coach. I'm one out there running. Well, there's somebody behind you writing those workouts. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's certain athletes that can run faster than anybody. But when you got a good situation, you got a good support system, stick to what got you there. Don't be so quick to listen to people whispering in your ear and jump ship.
To add to that, and I do not know who said this to me first, but I've heard it in so many contexts from so many people, and it's absolutely true. In professional track and field world, professional athletics, when the athlete runs fast, it's the athlete. When the athlete runs shitty, it's the coach. And that's all part of this delusion again. Like, there's no part of this where people like to think realistically about the things that are happening to them and around them. Like, it's a very hilarious dynamic to watch play out in real time. And I think any of us that have spent time at the professional level working with these highly, highly gifted and special people, we've all gotten a dose of that at some point. When everything's good, it's all about them. When something goes wrong, it's totally your fault.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so let's segue now. Let's have a little fun, as if we weren't before. Let's get some medal predictions. This week, we're going to predict the men's 400-meter hurdles. Go.
I guess I'll go first since I haven't gone first yet. This is mostly easy for me. As much as I absolutely am a huge fan and respect Mr. Warholm, who is 100% ready to assault the world record and 100% the #1 400 hurdler on the planet and has been so for a while now. 2 world championships under his belt. I'm taking Rai Benjamin in an upset, because it would be an upset because he is the favorite. Warholm is the favorite. It is his throne. He's the king. I'm taking Rai Benjamin for the gold, taking down the man for #2, Warholm #2 for the silver. And I think Samba's pissed off enough about losing on his home soil that he's going to come back with a vengeance and find his way to bronze. So that's my 3.
Well, I'm going to let the king keep his throne for now. He's definitely earned that, in my opinion, and he's definitely shown that he's worthy of that crown. I am definitely going to go with Mr. Benjamin for the silver, and I'm going totally homer, and I want people to laugh and call me crazy. TJ Holmes for the bronze medal.
Hey, I almost said it. I almost said it. I almost said it.
Well, I'll be quick, and I feel relatively definitive about my answer. So I'm going to say Warholm, Samba, Benjamin.
Oh, wow.
You pushed Benjamin back to 3rd.
I did, and there's a real reason for it.
Analysis with that? Can we get a little deeper into that one?
Definitively. Okay. Wait. You want me to give deeper, or you want to let Lucious go? Which I'm good with. I just want to know what you want from me.
Oh, as the most surprising answer of the 3, I definitely want to hear more about that
one. So here's what I'm going to say. I believe that there's going to be a bloodbath attempt by Benjamin and Warholm. I think they're both going to be on some sort of I hurdle or I die mission to win and break the world record. And what I believe is one of them, which in this case I believe is Rai, is going to crack to some degree at the end and get run by Samba at the line. That's literally what I think is going to happen.
That's perfectly rational. I understand.
Like having been to or around several Olympics, that happens a lot. You know what I mean? Where the two people, whenever there's two people who think that they are entitled to the throne, inevitably, very, very many times they don't go 1-2.
Yeah. And what I'm going to tell you is this is I think the key to being on the medal stand in that race will come down to mental toughness and ability to hurdle over the last two barriers.
Agreed.
That's my call. The better hurdler at that point, the person that's the most efficient and able to continue that momentum through the last two hurdles will win.
Much like the reason Delilah beat Sydney in Doha.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Excuse me.
And I will say this, to Lucious's point, right? Sure, people are going to they're going to maybe not laugh, but they're going to say that Lucious was being a homer with his pick. But I will say this: one of the reasons that I think that is not a crazy pick is the exact scenario that I mentioned. Because if he goes and does his job, he's going to run fast enough to be a medalist. If all three of them run perfectly, maybe he can't beat them. But we all know folks make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And if he goes and does his job and doesn't make mistakes, he for sure can be on the medal stand.
I mean, by definition, if it's a homer pick, I mean, it is what it is. But anybody that pays attention to the event and has seen TJ run, you'd be foolish to think that he can't do it. He absolutely can.
Agreed.
He absolutely.
Interesting. Well, those are all noted. And I do have the criteria, the 3 criteria of which the race will go down in. So I will anxiously await 2021 next summer to see what happens. And I will literally put it on social media. I have to remind myself. So well thought out. I like all of that. I think that you all have successfully spun some wheels. And now people are going to go to these other events and they're going to try to apply some of this criteria to see how it changes it. So well done, gentlemen. To continue in the tradition that we've just recently started, we've got some rapid fire for Mr. Lucious here. So pew, 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 pew. As I said, these get harder every week, and the more repetitions, I have to get more creative. So I don't know if I'm going to stump you on any of these, but I sure as heck am trying to. So okay. We'll start off easy and then we'll get harder as we tend to. Okay. Marvel or DC?
Neither.
Okay, I had a feeling, but that was my feeler. I had to go for that one.
I'm good. I'm good.
For the record, the answer is always Marvel.
I knew the other two would have an answer, but I didn't think you would, but I had to throw it out.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So, Bengals or the Bucks?
Who?
Cincinnati Bengals or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Oh, the Bengals.
Okay.
Like,
sorry, I should have given more context.
No, I mean, it's like I thought you were trying to say the Bengals are the Browns, and you got confused. But you were really talking about the Bucks.
I was giving you a current to the past.
I haven't cheered for the Tampa Bay Bucks since Leroy Selman played for them.
Oh.
Oof.
Oh.
Oof.
Yikes.
Sorry.
Okay. A Gatorade bath or a champagne bath?
Oh, champagne. Every time.
It's building. I promise it's building.
Or a Gatorade bath followed by a champagne bath sounds even better.
There you go. I like that one. What's your favorite track venue?
Track venue?
Correct.
Wow. It's not the cathedral. It's not that. You know what? Percy Beer Track. I mean, come on, it's my home.
I knew that was covered.
That's my home.
All right. Curveball. Boys to Men or Jodeci?
Boys to Men.
Got it. Most memorable victory?
Oh, wow. I mean, this guy, at the collegiate level, it's got to be the 2010 indoor, our first one, you know. And at the high school level, probably the same deal when we won our first cross country title.
Like it?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Pick a Holloway.
Nell Vina, my mother.
Good answer.
That's too easy. You go right to the top with that one. The rest of those jokers, yeah, whatever. Right to the top with my mom. Yeah.
Love it. You have survived rapid fire. Hopefully, I got this.
I'd like to interject, and given the context of what's been going on in the show, I think we all will agree that he needs one more rapid fire question. Built up from the previous weeks, Mr. Lucious, you have to pick one song from your Bay Area playlist. Gotta pick.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta pick one.
Look,
Yes.
See, you are wrong for that.
Hold on.
Yes.
Let's tell the audience what we picked, because you know what I mean.
Oh,
like,
no problem. I can run that down, no problem. So if you've been following the show, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, you know, we randomly got into some kind of discussion about Bay Area music, hip hop in general. And with all of us having lived in the Bay Area at some point, we were all very familiar, Lamar, myself, and Miss Chu. But, you know, the Gator down there, the Ohioan who lives in Gainesville, Florida, had no clue what we were talking about at all. So we decided to get a playlist together and send it to him. Maybe we were trying to be nice. Maybe we were trying to torture him. I don't know. But we sent it to him. Here's the list. Here's the list we sent him. We sent him Mac Mall, My Opinion. We sent him Get Right by Mac Mall. We sent him 93 to Infinity, Souls of Mischief. We sent him Player Hater by the Loonies. We sent him Selly Cell, It's Going Down. We sent him E40's I Hope I Don't Go Back. We sent I'm a Player by Too Short. We sent Invasion of the Flat Booty Bleep by Too Short. We sent him Bleep Job Betty by Too Short. We sent him Dusted and Disgusted by E40 and the crew. We sent him Feeling Myself, Mac Dre. Thizzle Dance, Mac Dre. We sent him D-Lo's No Ho. We sent him Get Stupid by Mac Dre. We sent him Go Dumb by the Federation and Tell Me When to Go by E40. Now, I know you enjoyed them all, sir, but you got to pick one.
Okay, so I'm just going to go with the one that just will not get out of my head, and it's not the one you think it is, by the way. And even if it was that one, I would not admit it on the air. But it's the Thistle Dance. Like, it just...
Of course it's Mac Dre that sticks in your head.
Exactly.
Now
Absolutely.
It's the Thistle Dance. It's like, it just won't go away. Yeah.
Now we just have to teach how to do the Thizzle Dance, and it will be a completed mission.
Yeah, there's no chance of that happening.
No.
I love it.
Oh,
but see,
that was great.
Leave it to
That
you
was
to
great,
throw
Clyde.
me that curveball, right?
That was great, Clyde.
True
So I'm
story.
just going to tell you,
Go
I
ahead.
called Lamar and I was just like, trash. That's all I got to say, trash.
Oh,
I had a
that
friend
was
of mine from the Bay Area that watches the show, and he texted me. He's like, "It's all gonna be trash." He just told me up front.
Oh, that's so awesome.
True story. In the 7th grade, on my pager greeting, super pager greetings, was I'm a Player by Too Short. I don't know who I thought I was. I was 13 years old.
It might have been accurate.
I had no idea that Too Short had been around as long as he's been around until my man Clyde educated me on that. And God bless him is all I gotta say. God bless him.
Oh man.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's round out the week by lifting our hearts up again. Redeeming ourselves. Does anybody have anyone on their heart?
Yeah, I'll go first. It's not necessarily a heartbeat prop, but it's the only thing to say this evening. Shout out to Mr. LeBron James. Three franchises he is now taken to global dominance. Lakers won tonight in a game that really wasn't remotely close. He is obviously the righteous MVP, and we can save GOAT discussions for about maybe 10 more minutes, but the case is basically solidified with this achievement. But in all seriousness, it's way outside of basketball for me. The greatness of LeBron ultimately is way above basketball, and it's all the stuff that he does off of the court. It's the man he's chosen to be. It's what he's chosen to do with his platform. It's putting thousands and thousands and thousands of kids into college. It's being unafraid of the social justice fights. It's standing up for what is righteous in the world. And honestly, I can't imagine how difficult it has been to live up to the pressure of who he is supposed to have been since he was a 16-year-old child. And he's done it with grace, and he's never been in any kind of trouble. And he is the shining example of what anybody should want their kids to be if they want them to be professional athletes. So yeah, the basketball stuff is cool and all that other stuff is fun to debate. And it's a great moment for him leading the Lakers to the title. But honestly, the reason that I love LeBron James is all the off the court stuff. So props to the king. Long live the king.
I'm gonna, obviously I'm gonna clap you up on that, being that, LeBron's my homeboy. That's how all Ohio boys do it. It's just what we do. Hey, I'm just saying, it's what we do. If you want, if you'd like to disagree with me later, we can talk about that. But that's what we do.
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, okay. It's just hard to disagree. I mean, that's what we do. So, but anyway,
sure.
I mean, hey, but before I get started on my heartbeat props, I want to say this. A further proof that 2020 is off the chain. Cleveland Browns are 4-1. Just want to put that out there for everybody.
Oh, the world is upside down.
Exactly. So further proof that 2020 is off the chain. The Cleveland Browns are 4-1, and all of my boys are talking Super Bowl. I'm gonna hold off on that for a little while. Just a little while, but So, as a lot of you know, I don't have a lot of people I call friends, and but I'm gonna give my heartbeat props tonight to a group of 4 gentlemen that I have known for well over 40 years, and we are in a group chat every day, and we find ways to support each other, to uplift each other, and always be there for each other in whatever way we need to. These 4 guys have been a part of my life in some way or another since 1977. And, I call them my brothers, and I know that they have my back. They know that I have theirs. They are Roger Dixon, Melford Booty, Teddy Robinson, and my fraternity brother, Kenny Baylor. I love you guys. I appreciate everything you do for me. I appreciate the love and support we have for each other. And I have to make sure I get this to you guys so you can see it. And but I appreciate you. Heartbeat props to the Santa Fe 5, as we call ourselves. So.
Got it. Oh, I this part of the show is always tough for me. Just for so many reasons. Like this whole turn the turtle over and show the underbelly thing is just very difficult for me. That is very, very much not what I do, and so I appreciate the fact that you guys make me do this every week. I really do. So tonight I'm just going to be really simple. My heartbeat props go to my youngest sister, and there's probably a lot of people out there who don't even know I have a sister, who just had her first baby, making me a very proud but very distant uncle. And she had her first baby at 44 years old.
Wow.
And everybody's healthy. Lots of super cute pictures, and a really cool conversation between me and my father. So just suffice to say, as long as Lucious has known me, he just found that out. There's a lot to that. So I'm going to leave it there.
That's going to definitely be one of those post talk shows.
That's fair, but I'll just say, tonight I am a proud uncle, and it's not my first, but it is her first child, and I'm a proud uncle. So there you go. The underbelly of Lamar.
Congratulations to her and your family. That's awesome. Tonight, this week, I say this almost every week, and this one I'm like, oh crap, like it's okay because he doesn't watch the show, so I'll be safe. But my heartbeat props this week go out to my brother. My brother and I are inseparable. I mean, physically we're in different places of the country right now, but we are 11 months apart. So 13 months apart. Oh my gosh, 13 months apart. His kids are 11 months apart. And we grew up like twins, and we did everything together. Road dogs, ride or die. He beat the crap out of me, so I would tell on him, and then beat the crap out of him after he got in trouble, and then got the crap beat out of him by me again. I was his older sister mom because my mom was a single parent. So when she wasn't home, I was the one who was delivering all the rules, regulations, and clean your rooms and trying to make us food. And that went well. But we're all here now. And I bring him up because he is my naysayer. He's the one who checks me as to why I keep coaching. Recently a conversation happened. He was like, oh, so like, if you ever move again, what would you do? Huh? Like, I would coach. That's my profession. And he's like, oh, okay. And mind you, I've been coaching for 10 years now. Like, this isn't a hobby. I'm not a bartender anymore. But he's the one who he reminds me of why, because he questions my why. And that's okay, because we need those people in our lives to have the checks and balances and to make us keep it in the forefront of why we're doing what we're doing. I'm not doing it for my kids. I get paid for my kids. I'm doing it for me so that I'm happy and I can keep my passion in line and not have a job. I go to my passion every day. So for that reminder, my lovely younger brother, Byron, thank you so much. And I will make sure you see this so that I can rub it in your face and beat the shit out of you after. But yes, so no, I appreciate your presence and being my road dog and just always holding my high chair when I was trying to get cookies from the cookie jar. So thanks, bud. But yeah, other than that, this was an episode.
Another one in the books, folks.
Yeah, 28. They've kept us along for that long. Or they've kept going with us for that long. Can you believe it? And they keep coming back for more.
28 headed to 100.
Say that again.
28 headed to 100.
I know. Well, thank you all again for some time of your day whenever you happen to be watching or listening to this. It's always fun. Thank you for giving us a reason to show up every week to discuss, banter, and dispel some things. If I couldn't put it a better way this week, dispelling some things. So everyone go relish in that Laker victory. If you're in LA, God bless you. Please wear your mask. Wherever you go tomorrow, go wear your mask.
Oh my God.
But other than that, thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see each other again, gentlemen. Good night.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin 'em hard, knock 'em off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics LLC, there's no others. Track and field's place and we'll peel to go further. Hey, Wile E. Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and fail, then sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.